Hello Galactic family. Greetings, Masters. I am Metatron, Lord of Light, with Tiburon of the Crystalline Service, and we greet each of you individually, cordially, in a vector of unconditional love. It has often been said that human beings learn to work, but not to live. And in the new Earth from 2016 onwards, it is essential to learn to live, and to live abundantly. Life was not meant to be a mundane existence of mundane work, in which we work and then die. In fact, life is a precious gift. And living is the opportunity to learn the art of manifesting a joyful and abundant life. But learning the balance of the art of life requires effort, for you are here to learn to create responsibly, and to create with joy. Much has been written about the law of attraction. Let's talk about this subject here, but separating the law of attraction from the law of conscious creation. In fact, there is a great need to understand the difference. An essential truth of the law of attraction applies to thought. Thus, it is critical to understand that each thought has a magnetic frequency. This resonant thought frequency attracts similar thoughts of similar vibration. The more energy, attention and focus you offer to a specific thought, the more powerful it becomes. If you have a fear or concern and stick to it, the snowball effect may occur, that is, each thought of fear and/or concern attracts another. Likewise, if you think positively, with joy, these thoughts really attract vibrations beneficial to you. Thoughts evoke feelings of a similar nature, thoughts attract similar thoughts. Thus your etheric energy and your auric field will vibrate according to your thoughts. You attract to yourself what you fear and what you love. Therefore, you must be a zealous guardian of your thinking, discerning and controlling where you focus. This is the law of attraction. But it is not the end product that enables conscious creation. You are here to learn to create consciously, but there is much more to it than this in the process. So let's talk about how the law of attraction works and why it sometimes does not work, because it's important to understand that there's a difference between unconscious attraction and conscious attraction. There are exceptions, so to speak, to the play and it shall be given. There must first be belief followed by action. You are a multidimensional being. In fact, you act cosmic and earthly in many different formats of reality, within the eternal now. All of your lives not only happen simultaneously, but there is also constant subconscious communication between your multi-selves. Each life is embedded in an omni-earth hologram. Each compact hologram is a dynamic of chosen realities between infinite probabilities. And so, each life affects the other, and this is an aspect of the law of attraction that will be recapitulated in this conversation. The law of attraction and conscious creation. Darling, you create your reality. And there is no other rule. You are here at the University of Duality to learn how to create responsibly. There are several texts that talk about how humans create the perspective of their realities. But we offer you this caveat: it is not thought that alone is perfectly creative, but rather belief, expressed in thought through the clear conscious mind, followed by action. Let us be clear, there is a very true science behind the law of attraction, and this science is the law of belief. The law of belief governs what you create in your life. Within the law of belief are the additions of the configurations of life that you plan and hire for your own growth. In fact, the lessons you yourself provide are fulfilled by discipline, confrontation and effort. Therefore, it is essential to fully understand that you are never at the mercy of events, that you are not hopelessly destined to face the inexplicable like a ship lost at sea. Master, no psychological events, No physical events have control over you. When the human being fully understands the immense ability of his brain to store a variety of conclusive beliefs associated with his experiences, he will find that he has an infinite range of choices. But one who is bound by old limiting beliefs and patterns gets stuck in a repetitive cycle of predetermined responses, including the propensity to block new solutions by refusing to think better. In this case, if you do not learn from past mistakes, the person self-condemns to repeat them. In fact, it will repeat the cycle until you learn how the process of attaining the divine mind works. This holds true for all human beings. You must challenge yourself to break free. 3 laws. There are 3 lawsuits governed separately by the law of attraction. All 3 have slightly different criteria for achievement. Let's define the basic aspect of each law. Law of attraction: the thoughts have a frequency that attracts similar frequencies. Belief of law: know beyond doubt. You can only manifest what you believe is possible. Conscious creation of law: the conscious ability to manifest, in targeted manner, objectives and events through the multidimensional mind and Marikana. Alma contract settings. So once again we emphasize that their projected beliefs are that they form their individual and collective reality. As we discussed in previous messages on this topic, there are situations planned by your higher self, the aspect of the divine mind in you, which can be called settings or soul contracts, which you yourself have chosen as growth lessons to help you to achieve greater wisdom. With this in mind, we add that what is known as karma is not a debt to one another in the highest sense. On the contrary, it is always related to the self, with the pursuit of the balance of the divine self. We further affirm that if you have a goal in the 3rd dimension that conflicts with your higher self, it will not manifest unless it is chosen as a lesson in growth. For example, if a person desires wealth, but there is a high probability that this wealth is misused, his higher self can reject this desire, preventing it from manifesting. In some cases, human beings, who have all their material needs satisfied, are less motivated to seek expansion. My dear, when you find yourself within the scope of any experience that is uncomfortable to you or that is not of your taste, you must understand that you have created this apparent complication. According to this axiom, within duality there are indeed situations in the linear time that you must face. Whether you accept it or not, every circumstance and every action that results, however terrible, is entirely your creations. If, for example, in extreme circumstances, a crime is actually committed and an individual is duly sentenced to prison, these conditions will be faced and experienced. In most situations of duality, the condemned prisoner cannot simply wish that the results of his actions disappear in magic. On the contrary, he must face the duality which he himself created in linear time. In the 3rd dimension, there are laws of cause and effect that impose themselves. Responsibility, not only for their actions, but also for their beliefs, is fundamental in the process of growth in this planet of learning. It is essential to have both. But in facing them, you can change the landscape around you. Dear human being, understand that whenever you try to avoid responsibility for your actions, you usually seek to pass that responsibility, this guilt, onto another individual, group or cause. But in this process of transferring guilt, you unconsciously surrender your power and discard the property that allows you to recreate. As we have explained before, the difficulty most people have in accepting responsibility for their own behavior is in the desire to avoid pain and guilt at the consequences of the actions that result from it. No one likes to admit their mistakes. But in less obvious circumstances of lack of abundance and undesirable relationships, you must not only change the nature of your conscious thoughts, but also the belief in those expectations themselves, and act on those beliefs. Unconscious programming. You create your own reality from what you choose to believe about yourself and the world around you. And if you do not deliberately and consciously choose your own beliefs, you will be programmed unconsciously. Without realizing it, it will absorb the programming of its culture, school education and third-dimensional environment. If you are responsible for your actions, how not to question your beliefs? The way you define yourself and the world around you forms your belief which, in turn, shapes your reality. Only when you fully understand that your beliefs form your reality will you cease to be a prisoner of the events you experience. You simply need to learn the mechanisms and methods. It is only when you believe and program your belief to nullify and replace the previous erroneous beliefs that the integral field of the three-step function admit, change, act will be completed. In this process, thoughts must harmonize with beliefs and be followed by action. So let's devote the remainder of this article to conscious creation, keeping in mind that you are advanced on the path of growth in order to consciously create. You are not a mark of the circumstances. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances, but, curiously enough, this belief is the reason you mistakenly think you are. Take a moment to reflect on this. This is the law of belief. If you believe circumstances keep you in jail, then they hold you until you change that basic belief. You are a creator learning how to co-create. You are here to learn what you can create and really create. One of the fundamental reasons for being on the earth of duality is to learn to create responsibly and consciously. The master of this principle is usually Dr. Cause and Effect, and this doctor does home care. You plant what you harvest and, uncomfortable as it may be, unwanted harvesting is the very means you have to reflect on what led you to it to escape the circumstances that are caused by their psychological aspects. Conscious disciplined effort is required in order for the change to occur. The key, again, is your belief. Little difference is made if you believe your current life is caused by incidents of your early childhood or past lives about which you also think you have no control. Your events, your lives, your experiences are caused by your current beliefs. Change your current beliefs and your life will change, not just in the present but in the past and in the future as well. This is the creative power of belief. Master, whatever your coefficient of light level, whether you are creating unconsciously or manifesting consciously, you cannot escape your beliefs. They are the enzymes through which you create your experiences. I am METATRON with Tiburon of the crystalline service, and we share with you these truths. You are loved. And so it is, and that's how it is.